To see someone's true character, notice only two things. Zen and Buddhism teachings. In our fast-paced world, how can we truly understand the people around us? What if I told you that there are only two things you need to observe to reveal a person's true character? Stick with me, and let's uncover the simple yet powerful wisdom that can change the way you see others and yourself. Welcome to this journey of self-discovery and understanding, where today we'll explore an age-old teaching of Zen and Buddhism that can help us see beyond the masks people wear. In a world where appearances often deceive, it's crucial to know how to distinguish true character from superficiality. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that people's true nature is not hidden in their words, but in their actions and reactions. If you're ready to dive deeper into how to discern the real essence of those around you, stay with me till the end. We'll also learn how these teachings can be applied to enhance our lives. In every society, power is often seen as a symbol of success, achievement, and control. But what happens when someone finally gains power? Do they use it to help others, or does it reveal a darker side to their personality? Power doesn't corrupt a person, it exposes their true nature. It's in these moments of authority, when a person is free from the constraints of others' opinions or societal pressures, that their real character is unveiled. Think about it. When a person is given the freedom to act without fear of judgment or consequences, what do they do with it? This is where the truth comes to light. How one uses their power reveals who they truly are. Take the story of two leaders who rose to positions of great influence. The first leader, a man who inherited leadership over a community, started with promises of fairness, justice, and equality. His vision was to create a society where everyone had a voice and where the needs of the people were met with compassion. At first, he seemed like the perfect leader. He spoke the right words and painted a picture of a bright, just future. But as time went on and his power grew, so did his ego. With each step higher on the ladder of power, his attitude shifted. The man who once promised fairness became arrogant, demanding the respect of others, even punishing those who dared to disagree with him. He surrounded himself with sycophants, people who flattered him, echoed his ideas, and agreed with everything he said. The community's needs became secondary to his personal desire for control, admiration, and dominance. His power didn't make him more capable. It stripped away the empathy and kindness he once claimed to have. Contrast this with the second leader, who was in a similar position but handled power differently. This leader was not born into power, but earned it through hard work and respect. When given the opportunity to lead, he chose a path of humility. Instead of ruling with an iron fist, he listened to the people he served. He took the time to understand their struggles, their hopes, and their desires. His decisions were not based on what would make him the most admired, but on what would bring about the most peace, the most harmony. He used his influence not to elevate himself, but to elevate others. Instead of creating division, he fostered unity, and in doing so, he earned the genuine respect of those around him. His power didn't expose a hunger for dominance, but revealed a deep commitment to the welfare of others. The difference between these two leaders lies not in their circumstances, but in how they chose to wield their power. The first leader's rise to power revealed his true character, an individual driven by ego and a desire for control. The second leader's use of power exposed his character as one of compassion, humility, and a deep understanding of the responsibility that comes with leadership. This example highlights a core truth about power. It is not power itself that shapes a person, but how that person chooses to use it. Power has a way of stripping away the masks people wear in everyday life. When they are given authority, when they no longer need to conform to the expectations of others, their true nature emerges. Power amplifies who a person really is on the inside. It doesn't change them. It only magnifies what was already there. Let's take a moment to think about this in our own lives. How many times have we witnessed someone gain power, and over time, their character shift? It could be a boss at work, a public figure, or even someone in our personal circle. At first, they may seem humble, approachable, and kind. But as they rise higher in rank, we begin to notice subtle changes. They start demanding more from others. They no longer listen to differing opinions. They surround themselves with yes men and women who validate their every decision, regardless of its merit. This is the power dynamic at work. When people are given the freedom to act without fear of consequence, it's their true self that shines through. On the other hand, there are people who, when given power, are only more generous, more empathetic, and more considerate. These are the individuals who do not see power as a tool for personal gain, but as an opportunity to serve and uplift others. They do not seek admiration. They seek to make a difference. And when they use their power to help those in need, they inspire others to do the same. So why does power have such a profound effect on people's character? It's simple. Power exposes what lies beneath the surface. It's easy to be kind and humble when you have nothing to lose. But it's a true test of character when you have everything to gain. The way people treat others when they have power. The way they treat those they consider beneath them, or those who cannot offer them anything in return, is a key indicator of their true nature. Do they still treat others with respect, compassion, and kindness? Or do they use their position to exploit, manipulate, or dominate? Power doesn't create a new person. It reveals the one who was always there. In my own life, I've had the opportunity to observe people in positions of power, and I've seen firsthand how power reveals character. I've witnessed leaders who, when given authority, chose to help others and work for the greater good. They didn't act out of ego or greed. They acted out of a genuine desire to serve. But I've also seen the opposite. I've seen individuals who, once in power, became tyrants, exploiting others for their own gain. They manipulated situations to benefit themselves, disregarding the well-being of those around them. These experiences have been stark reminders that power is not just a test of control, but a test of character. The wisdom here is clear. If you want to truly understand someone's character, observe how they behave when they hold power. Do they use their power to help others, or do they use it to build their own empire? Power doesn't make people good or bad. It simply reveals who they already are. When we apply this understanding to our own lives, it becomes easier to navigate relationships and interactions. We can look beyond the surface and see the true nature of those around us. It's important to understand that power doesn't change people. It only amplifies what is already inside. By observing how people treat others when they hold power, we can gain a deeper understanding of their true character. In the end, power isn't just about the ability to control others. It's about the ability to control oneself. The true test of power is not how much authority one has, but how that authority is used. Power reveals the heart. And in the case of the two leaders, it was clear. One used power to elevate himself, while the other used power to elevate others. The choice is ours. How will we use the power we have, both in our personal lives and in the world? Adversity is a universal experience, something we all face at some point in our lives. It can take many forms: personal loss, financial struggles, health crises, or even the simple challenges of daily life. But no matter the shape it takes, adversity has one thing in common. It forces us to confront ourselves. How we respond to life's hardships is often a true reflection of who we really are. It's easy to remain calm when everything is going well, but adversity tests our strength, patience, and resilience. It reveals the core of our character in ways that success and ease never can. Imagine, for a moment, two individuals facing the same calamity. Let's say both of them experience a sudden and unexpected financial loss. A large investment collapses, or they lose their job. The difference in how they react speaks volumes about who they are. The first person, overwhelmed by the situation, falls into despair. His initial reaction is anger. Anger toward his boss, the economy, and even his family. He blames everyone and everything around him for his misfortune. His mind becomes consumed by bitterness, and he spends his days reliving the injustice of his situation. The more he thinks about it, the more hopeless he feels. He feels as if life has turned its back on him and he can't see a way forward. His energy is drained by resentment, and his mind is clouded by negativity. Instead of finding a solution, he finds himself sinking deeper into a pit of despair. Now let's look at the second person. Like the first, he is heartbroken by the loss. He doesn't deny the pain or the difficulty of the situation, but instead of giving in to anger and bitterness, he accepts the reality of what has happened. He acknowledges his feelings of sadness, but doesn't let them consume him. He chooses to focus on what he can control. He makes a plan, works hard, and takes steady steps to rebuild his life. Along the way, he helps others who are facing the same challenges, offering advice, comfort, and even financial support when he can. His strength lies not in denying the hardship, but in how he rises above it. He uses his struggle as a stepping stone to build something better, not just for himself, but for those around him. These two individuals facing the same adversity take completely different paths. One chooses to let the hardship define him, allowing it to bring out the worst in him. The other rises to the challenge, drawing upon inner strength, patience, and resilience. The first person's anger and despair leave him isolated, while the second person's calmness and determination allow him to grow stronger and become a beacon of hope for others. This is the true power of adversity. It doesn't create strength, but it reveals it. Adversity, like power, serves as a mirror. It shows us who we are when things aren't going the way we want. It reveals the kind of person we are when we face a challenge, when we feel vulnerable and uncertain. The way we react to life's difficulties speaks volumes about our inner strength or lack thereof. It's easy to be patient and calm when everything is smooth sailing, but when the storm hits, how do we respond? Do we sink into bitterness and despair, or do we rise, determined to find a way through the storm? From my own experience, I've seen people respond to adversity in many different ways. I've witnessed friends and family members who, faced with difficult circumstances, have crumbled under the weight of their challenges. They allowed their anger, frustration, and resentment to consume them. These emotions pulled them deeper into their struggles, and, instead of helping them find a way forward, they only made their situation worse. Their focus shifted from solving the problem to blaming others, and they lost sight of the fact that the only thing they truly had control over was how they responded. But I've also seen others who, when faced with adversity, displayed incredible strength and resilience. These individuals didn't allow the hardship to define them. They didn't let the pain or frustration dictate their actions. Instead, they focused on what they could do to improve their situation. They weren't immune to the difficulties of life. They felt the pain, they suffered the setbacks, but they chose not to be defeated. They used adversity as an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn more about themselves, and to develop a deeper sense of empathy for others. These are the people who earn my deepest respect. It's not that they don't face hardship, it's that they face it with grace and perseverance. What I've learned through observing these responses is that adversity is not just an obstacle to be overcome. It's also a teacher. It teaches us about our own character, about what lies within us. When life gets tough, it's easy to think that we are victims of circumstances. But the truth is, adversity is a choice. We may not choose the challenges we face, but we do choose how we respond to them. And in that choice, we reveal our true strength. Think about the stories of people who have faced seemingly insurmountable obstacles and yet found a way to rise above them. People like Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison for his fight against apartheid, only to emerge as a leader who sought reconciliation and unity rather than revenge. Or Malala Yousafzai, who after surviving an assassination attempt by the Taliban, dedicated her life to advocating for girls' education. These individuals faced incredible adversity, yet their response was not to give in to despair or bitterness, but to use their pain as a catalyst for change. Adversity also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not invincible, that life can change in an instant. It strips away any sense of entitlement we may have and shows us the value of perseverance. It's easy to be confident when everything is going well, but true confidence is tested in times of adversity. Those who can stand tall in the face of difficulty and remain true to their values, even when the world around them seems to be falling apart, are the ones who inspire the deepest respect. In my own life, I've had my share of struggles, personal, professional, and emotional. I faced situations where I felt like giving up was the easiest option. But I've learned that it's in these moments of difficulty that we discover our true strength. It's when we feel the weight of the world on our shoulders that we are given the opportunity to rise above it. And every time we do, we grow stronger. we learn more about who we are and what we are truly capable of. So, the next time adversity strikes, remember that it's not the challenge itself that defines you, but how you choose to respond. Do you let it break you, or do you use it to build a stronger version of yourself? The power of adversity lies not in its ability to defeat us, but in its ability to reveal the strength we already have within us. The greatest test of character is not how we handle success, but how we handle failure, pain, and hardship. It's in those moments that we truly show who we are. Adversity may come in many forms, but it is always a chance for us to rise, to learn, and to grow. It's not a punishment, it's a challenge, a gift that teaches us more about ourselves than any success ever could. And when we face it with grace, patience, and resilience, we not only overcome the obstacle, we become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. The sun was setting behind a distant mountain range, casting a warm glow over the landscape. A weary traveler, tired from a long journey, finally reached the foot of a mountain. He had heard stories of a wise sage who lived in seclusion on its peak, someone who had profound insights into human nature. The traveler, eager for answers, had embarked on a quest to discover the true nature of people. He had met many individuals along the way, each with their own stories and faces. But no matter how hard he looked, he could never quite see past the masks people wore. Everyone seemed to present a version of themselves that didn't quite match who they truly were beneath the surface. Words were easy to come by, but they often felt empty. Appearances, too, could be deceiving. He needed a deeper understanding, a way to pierce through the facade. So, with hope in his heart and determination in his steps, the traveler climbed the mountain. The path was steep, the air thin, but he pressed on, knowing that the sage at the top held the answers he sought. As he reached the summit, he found the sage sitting calmly on a stone, gazing out into the horizon. The sage, a man of few words, had a peaceful presence that immediately put the traveler at ease. He was no ordinary man. His eyes reflected the wisdom of someone who had lived many lifetimes. The sage welcomed the traveler with a warm smile, offering him a seat beside him. After a moment of silence, the traveler finally spoke, his voice tinged with frustration and curiosity. "Master," he began, "I have traveled far and met many people. I have heard their words, observed their actions, and yet I can never truly know what lies beneath their surface. People wear masks, and words are often deceptive. How can I then truly know someone's character? What should I look for?" The sage listened carefully, his gaze thoughtful. Then, with a calmness that seemed to resonate through the air, he replied, "You ask a profound question," said the sage. "To know someone's true nature, there are only two things you must observe. The first is how they behave when they are given power. Power, when wielded, reveals a person's heart. The second is how they react when faced with adversity. Adversity is the true test of character. When life challenges them, their response will show you their essence." The traveler sat in silence, taking in the sage's words. Power and adversity. These two moments, the sage suggested, would reveal the deepest truths about a person. It was simple but profound advice. The traveler could feel the weight of it settling into his mind. The sage continued, his voice soft but clear. Power and adversity are two sides of the same coin. In moments of power, people are often free to act without fear of consequences. The way they treat others in those moments tells you everything about their integrity, their humility, and their empathy. But it is in the face of adversity, when they are stripped of their comfort and certainty, that their true strength is shown. Adversity doesn't change who they are, it only reveals what is already there. The traveler, still deep in thought, asked one final question. "But Master, isn't it possible for someone to hide their true nature? Can't people be good in the face of adversity and still be deceptive when they have power?" The sage smiled gently. It is true that people can hide their true selves for a time. But power and adversity are both tests that are difficult to fake. Power, after all, is a great temptation. It shows a person's true desires, whether they seek control and dominance or whether they use their influence to help others. Adversity, too, is hard to disguise. When someone is in pain or struggling, their reactions will show their vulnerability. Do they lash out in anger? Do they withdraw in fear? Or do they face the challenge with resilience, with patience, and with compassion for others? The traveler paused, reflecting on the sage's words. It was a lot to take in, but there was a clarity to it that he couldn't ignore. The power of these two tests, the way they revealed the true nature of a person, was undeniable. As he sat beside the sage, the traveler began to understand something deep within himself. For all the people he had met and studied along his journey, he realized that he had been looking in the wrong places for answers. He had been focused on appearances, on words, on what people said about themselves. But the true measure of a person's character wasn't found in those things. It was found in their actions when they had power, and in their reactions when life tested them. Personal insight. This story, taken from Zen philosophy, is one that resonates deeply with me. It serves as a powerful reminder that our true selves are not revealed in what we say, but in what we do. Words are easy to speak, and appearances can be deceiving. But when we are faced with the dual forces of power and adversity, that's when our character is laid bare. It's one thing to appear calm, wise, or compassionate when things are going well. But it's when power is in our hands, when we have the ability to influence others or control situations, that our true intentions come to light. Power isn't inherently bad, it's simply a tool. How we use that tool, whether to uplift others or to serve our own desires, shows what's in our hearts. Adversity, on the other hand, strips away our external facades. When we are in pain, facing hardship, or struggling to overcome obstacles, we don't have the luxury of hiding behind words or charm. Our reactions reveal who we really are. Are we quick to anger, blame others, or give up? Or do we find the strength to face challenges with resilience and grace? Do we maintain our integrity, even when things are difficult? I've seen this principle in action many times in my own life. There have been moments when I was given power or influence, and it was in those moments that I had to remind myself of the importance of humility, kindness, and responsibility. The power I had wasn't for personal gain. It was a chance to serve others, to lift them up, and to lead with compassion. I've also experienced adversity, like many of us have. There have been times when life knocked me down, when I faced losses, struggles, and disappointments. In those moments, it wasn't my strength or my knowledge that helped me get through. It was my character. It was the ability to accept the situation, to stay calm, and to take the necessary steps to move forward. I've learned that our true strength doesn't come from avoiding adversity, but from facing it with resilience and wisdom. So the next time you find yourself in a position of power or facing a difficult challenge, remember the story of the traveler and the sage. Remember that it's in these moments that your true nature will be revealed. Not in the words you speak, but in the actions you take. Power and adversity are opportunities to show the world who you truly are. Will you rise to the occasion, or will you let these moments define you? The choice is yours. But remember, it's not the challenge or the power that shapes you, it's your response. And in that response, you reveal your true self. As we've explored the powerful truth that power and adversity reveal the true nature of people, the next crucial question is, how do we take this wisdom and apply it in our own lives? Understanding this principle is one thing, but living by it is another. The key lies not only in observing the character of others, but also in shaping how we approach our relationships, set boundaries, and interact with the world around us. Let's break this down and see how we can incorporate these timeless lessons into our everyday actions. Choose relationships wisely. The people we choose to surround ourselves with play a monumental role in our lives. Relationships have the power to shape us, for better or worse. So how do we choose wisely? When building relationships, whether personal or professional, it's essential to look beyond the surface. A person's behavior in moments of power and in times of adversity tells you everything you need to know about their true character. It's easy to be kind, humble, and generous when everything is going well, when life is smooth, and there's nothing to threaten our sense of control. But it's in the face of power and adversity that a person's authenticity shines through. Consider this. Seek out individuals whose actions in positions of power are marked by humility and kindness, not arrogance or manipulation. These are the people who won't use their influence to elevate themselves at the expense of others. Instead, they'll use their power to support, uplift, and encourage those around them. Their strength is rooted in compassion, and their decisions are guided by fairness and integrity. Equally important is observing how someone reacts in times of adversity. Do they crumble under pressure, pointing fingers and blaming others? Or do they face challenges with resilience, maintaining their composure and adapting gracefully? The individuals who remain calm, who show patience and determination, even in the face of hardship, are the ones who will inspire you. These are the people who will help you grow, both in your personal journey and your broader outlook on life. In my own life, I've come to learn that the strongest relationships I have are those with individuals who demonstrate these traits. These people have shown me, through their actions, the depth of their character. I've observed how they handle difficult situations, and it's been a source of inspiration for me to model those behaviors in my own life. They've shown me that true strength isn't just about how we handle success, but how we rise in times of hardship. Protect your peace. While it's important to seek out relationships with those who uplift you, it's equally crucial to protect your own peace. This might sound simple, but it's often one of the most difficult lessons to learn. Sometimes, we encounter people whose energy is toxic, or whose character is harmful. These are the individuals who, when faced with power or adversity, reveal their darker sides. They may manipulate situations for personal gain, or they may act out of anger, jealousy, or bitterness when life challenges them. When we come across these individuals, it's essential to recognize the danger they pose, not just to our happiness, but to our emotional well-being. Now, this doesn't mean we should be quick to judge or write people off entirely, but it does mean that we need to be mindful of the energy we allow into our lives. If someone consistently drains your energy or makes you question your values, it's okay to set boundaries. Protecting your peace is not a selfish act. It's a necessary one. By setting clear boundaries, we ensure that we are surrounding ourselves with people who align with our values and support our growth. These boundaries can be physical, emotional, or mental, but they should be firm and consistent. I've learned this lesson the hard way. There have been times when I ignored red flags or tolerated unhealthy relationships because I didn't want to rock the boat or because I believed I could change someone. But over time, I realized that allowing toxic behavior to persist not only drained my energy, but also hindered my personal growth. Protecting my peace meant distancing myself from those who didn't have my best interests at heart. In doing so, I made room for healthier, more supportive relationships to flourish. Be a reflection of strength. Just as we observe others, remember that others are watching us as well. Our actions, particularly in moments of power and adversity, are a reflection of who we truly are. It's not enough to simply understand the principle of character revelation through power and adversity. We must embody it ourselves. In times of power, it's easy to get caught up in the allure of control, influence, and success. But true strength lies in how we use our power. Do we use it to elevate those around us, or do we use it to diminish others? Are we humble, recognizing the responsibility that comes with authority, or do we let ego take the reins? By striving to be kind, generous, and fair in positions of power, we set an example for others to follow. People are always observing, whether consciously or unconsciously, and our actions can inspire those around us to do the same. Similarly, when we face adversity, how we react becomes a powerful lesson for others. Do we let challenges break us, or do we face them with patience, resilience, and grace? Life is full of trials, and our ability to rise above them not only strengthens our own character, but serves as a beacon for others. In times of difficulty, when others witness our composure and determination, we give them the strength to do the same in their own lives. I've tried to apply these principles in my own life, and I can tell you, it's a journey. I'm not perfect, and I don't always handle every situation with the grace and strength that I aspire to. But I've learned that being a reflection of strength doesn't mean being perfect. It means being authentic. It means showing up as your true self, both in moments of power and in moments of adversity, and letting that be an example for others to learn from. Applying these principles has truly transformed how I interact with the world. It's not about judging others harshly, but about understanding them more deeply. It's about recognizing that power and adversity are universal experiences, and that how we respond to them defines not just who we are, but the energy we bring into our relationships and our communities. We are all on this journey together, facing similar challenges, experiencing similar victories and losses. The more we apply these teachings in our lives, the more we create an environment where positive energy can thrive. We are not only shaping our own character, but also contributing to the collective good of the world. When we choose our relationships wisely, protect our peace, and embody strength in both power and adversity, we become a part of a cycle of positivity and growth. And in doing so, we help make the world a better place. The truth is, none of us are perfect. We all have moments when we fail to live up to our highest standards. But what matters most is the effort we put into becoming better, into learning from our experiences, and into applying the wisdom we've gained. The more we practice these principles, the more we become the kind of people who inspire, uplift, and contribute to the well-being of others. So let us strive to be a reflection of the strength we wish to see in the world. Let us choose relationships that empower us, protect our peace by setting healthy boundaries, and use our own power to uplift others. In doing so, we don't just transform our own lives, we help transform the world around us. As we conclude today's lesson, remember that the true nature of people is often hidden beneath layers of power and adversity. By observing these moments without judgment, we can better understand others and ourselves. Ultimately, the greatest journey is not just understanding others, but discovering your own true self. When you live in alignment with your virtues, the world around you will reflect that peace. Thank you for joining me today on this enlightening journey. May these teachings guide you in your relationships and in your own personal growth. Until next time, may you find peace in every moment.